Wow. Where's your pizza? Where's your Mountain Dew?
Right here.
Oh.
Allow me to introduce you to a world most of you have never seen. A World of Warcraft. Let's shed some light on the subject. Blizzard Entertainment owns World of Warcraft, and there are 10 million subscribers. The average age of those subscribers is 28 years old. That means that these people have lives. They have families, they have careers, they have jobs. In a lot of cases, they have children, right? The entertainment time that most people spend watching TV, they choose to spend playing World of Warcraft for the most part. In order to service these 10 million people, Blizzard has a huge infrastructure. They spent lots and lots of money on capital, but it's paid off for them. They make $4.9 million every single day. Now, in order to get into the minds of those who play World of Warcraft, we as a group decided that it was very important for us to become those people. I actually created a character named Creation. Stresses and the rigors of the MBA life and actually have some fun, right? When we put together our map, it was pretty huge. That's a lot of years' work. But what we found that was really interesting is that there were 3 distinct groups of people that fell on this map. The first one that we identified was what we called achievers. People who wanted to get into the game and actually achieve things and have these accomplishments and do these quests. And through these quests, they were able to build a reputation. And this reputation allowed them to not only show off their skills, but also be the best in the game. There was another group that we found that we called relationshippers. The relationshippers are the people who go to World of Warcraft so that they can have a social experience. They wanted to build relationships. They wanted to go and participate in what the game calls guilds. Guilds are groups of people that work in teams to have quests and defeat dragons and kill evil kings and do all kinds of things together. And through those complementary tasks they do together, they build these huge friendships. In fact, there was 2 people that we talked to that met in World of Warcraft, and they ended up getting married.
In World of Warcraft?
Yeah, that's ceremony.
In both worlds. The third group that we saw was a group that we like to call escapers. They're kind of like me. They went to the game to explore this huge, vast world, this gigantic world that Blizzard has created. And they loved being able to get in there and explore. And when they would explore and like fly on these dragons and jump into these mountain lakes, right, from like 1 million feet up, they were able to have that sense of freedom. And that freedom led to a lot of joy and happiness for them. They were able to really enjoy that. So one of the things that we noticed was that there weren't just 3 groups. These groups actually had a really strong dynamic that fit together. We're going to talk about that real quick.
Thank you very much, Shaun. So I'd like to take what Shaun just explored with these 3 sections of our hierarchical value map and dig deeper. Because the truth is, we kind of had a really big aha moment as we conducted our research and analysis. And to explain that aha moment, I'm going to go ahead and give you a graphic here. We're going to take these three segments of the HVM and plot them on a Venn diagram. And the importance of this Venn diagram is not each segment on its own, but actually how each of these segments fits together, and more importantly, the overlap between them. For example, every one of the 6 individuals that we interviewed for our project fell somewhere on this map, but those somewheres were on the overlap between 2 segments. For example, we had 2 individuals that were achiever escapers. We had 2 individuals that were achiever relationshipers. And we had 2 individuals who were relationshipper escapers. People who play this game identify very closely with 2 dynamics in order to be committed love group members. And you know, time itself is not necessarily what Blizzard is after. Whether somebody plays 1 hour a week or whether they play 60 hours a week, Blizzard doesn't get more revenue from that individual. What they need to do is keep them committed. But as we conducted these interviews, we found that that 15-hour-a-week area was really where those committed members ended up. And this diagram was a plot of each one of these 6 individuals that we interviewed and where they fell in on that time continuum. So this is very powerful. If Blizzard can utilize this information and pull their customers toward the center of that love group, that's how they're going to retain their customers and you know, increase and retain their revenue levels right now. I'd like to introduce you to the World of Warcraft. As you can see from the photo mosaic behind, World of Warcraft has 10 million subscribers, and even the mosaic doesn't do it justice. But we decided to take 6 individuals who represented the average World of Warcraft player in terms of age and life situation. And I'd like to talk to you about them real quickly. Up at the top we have April. April is 29 years old. She works at a call center in Mesa, Arizona. And April is an achiever escaper. We also talked to Jeff. Jeff is married to Sarah. We're going to get to that here in just a minute. They have a couple kids. Jeff is 30 years old, and he's an IT professional who works in Aurora, Colorado. He's also an achiever escaper. Then we have Lauren and Sarah. We're going to spend a little more time here because these individuals are stay-at-home moms who love playing World of Warcraft. And they fall in the escaper relationshipper segment. Then we have Christy, who is a professor at a community college in Boston. She's in her early 30s. And we have John, who's 27 years old, married to Lauren, and he's a student here at UVU in the Valley. So as you can see, the key here are the overlap. These individuals all fell in that overlapping area between 2 of these segments. The deep metaphors that Blizzard can use to communicate with these individuals and to help move more of their customers toward the center are very simple, and they actually correspond directly with each one of our 3 areas. And then we distributed the cards to you guys so you kind of have more of a visual for that. But connection corresponds directly to the relationshipers. The relationshipers are looking for that connection, for that deep connection of friendship and then sometimes even marriage and love with the people that they play with. Then we have the deep metaphor of transformation. The escapers are looking for that transformation. They want to be that werewolf riding a massive dragon up in that beautiful mountain lake with these huge moons out in the background. They love that. And then finally, the achievers correspond directly to journey. World of Warcraft is built to be a journey. You go through these steps, you achieve these quests, you have these visible rewards, and there's a very deep connection with achievers with that journey metaphor. Finally, I want to talk about balance. And we're going to spend a little bit more time here because one of the things that we came across, both with the men and the women, but more significantly with the women who play, is that there's this sense of, can I be a good mom and play World of Warcraft at the same time? Is that possible? Can I be a good person and play World of Warcraft at the same time? There's kind of a social stigma associated with it. And there's a very, very deep-rooted balance metaphor that World of Warcraft needs to utilize. So that kind of begs the question, what is World of Warcraft doing right now? Well, unfortunately, World of Warcraft is currently advertising BMW bumpers. World of Warcraft, when you see their ads, it's an orc smashing something with a club, or it's a panda hitting something with a bamboo stick. And that's all well and good, and the graphics are amazing, but that's not why people play this game. And Blizzard doesn't understand that. Blizzard has access to data that can help them target their customers in a very powerful way. And I'd like to talk about that here just very quickly. Whenever you log into World of Warcraft, you get assigned an ID. Blizzard tracks everything that you do inside the game. If you're an achiever, they track your quests per hour, so they know that you're an achiever. They have the data in their servers today, right now. If you're an escaper, they know exactly how much time you spend flying and exploring the world. They know that you're an escaper and that you're in that group. If you're a relationshiper, they track exactly how many lines of IM you have with your party, with your guild, and with the other people who play the game, and they know you're a relationshiper. And this information is powerful because it can be used effectively. And in order to decide where this information can be used effectively in our recommendations, we decided to target what's called the download manager. I'd like to explain that very briefly. This is the download manager. Whenever an individual clicks on the icon on their desktop or their computer to play the game, this pops up. They have to push the play button to play. Blizzard has found that the average consumer spends between 10 and 30 seconds on this page. But I don't know about you guys, all I'm seeing is bumpers. They've got, TriPanda, they have patch 5.1 now live. They have celebrating 8 years of World of Warcraft. they're not crossing the personal relevance bridge to their existing customers, and they need to. Our group recommends that they place targeted ads here that cross these segments. That, you know, if they identify you and they know you're an achiever, your download manager should look different from everyone else's download manager. You should have ads that are pulling you to the escape route, so that you go into that yellow area, you get sucked more toward the more of a committed player. If you're a relationship, they need to put advertisements there that, you know, pull you toward the achiever section, so that you're in that purple area, you become a more committed World of Warcraft player. And they could use this space so much more efficiently. So that's our first recommendation. However, as you might have thought, that only addresses one consumer segment, and that is existing players. There's all these other people out here who have left the game for one reason or another. Many times it's because they have personal commitments, like, you know, they have a child and they feel they can no longer responsibly play. Or they get into graduate school and they feel they can no longer responsibly play. And there are a lot of things that happen in life. Yeah, they'll pull you away from your home and where you love to be. There are also a large segment of people out there who have never given World of Warcraft a try because of the stigma and because of this balance issue. Because they think, can I balance that with my life? My life's so full, there's no way I can pull that off. So we recommend that Blizzard create a targeted advertising campaign to be able to explore that deep balance metaphor, and it's going to look something like this.
Goodness, we sure had a lot of excitement tonight. Were you scared earlier?
A little bit, but do you think Pip will be okay?
Oh, well, I wouldn't worry about Pip. He is very brave. I remember this one time when the poor wolf was being chased by Little Red Riding Hood around his
Thank you for the nice story.
Good night, Morgan.
So that is crossing the personal relevance bridge. You know, it's interesting because the typical World of Warcraft user is usually typified as, you know, a 15 or 16-year-old kid hunched over his laptop with one hand in a bag of Cheetos and the other hand on a mouse. And that's actually not the truth at all. Certainly there are a small segment of the market that is that, but the vast majority of World of Warcraft users are everyday people like you and me. They have jobs, they have lives, they have careers, and they've got something really meaningful in this game. You know, this Cheeto analogy, it doesn't actually have any use. And Blizzard understands that. They have the data. You know, we've shown it to you. They understand who their customers are. They understand who their target market is. And it's important that they, you know, through using their download manager and using targeted marketing can help push, you know, through that funnel, through that Venn diagram, push them toward the center. They're going to be much more effective in what they do. There are 10 million World of Warcraft subscribers, and there are at least 10 million more waiting out there waiting for them. So.